do you just kind of put these last couple games into perspective? This last road trip, obviously 2 good wins on the West Coast, and then a tough loss in Dallas, a tough loss in Denver, rebound in Dallas last night.
Yeah, I thought we had a solid road trip. We all know last game we left that building feeling like we could have won the game, but give them credit. You know, they made plays at the end, and they made more plays than we did. But we had a really solid road trip, and it's good to be back home and start our homestand.
Halfway through the season now, exactly halfway point. I mean, reflecting, what have you seen that you like so far, and maybe going forward, what are some big picture things that you might want to see changed or improved upon as we make the second half push?
Like I said, I like where we are right now. Our defense and offense is trending in the right direction, and we're sharing the basketball offensively. We're executing in the half court, rebounding the ball defensively. We have a top 10 defense. I think the improvement area for us is the last 5 minutes of the game, those clutch situations. We've talked about it as a team, taking care of the basketball, making sure we get quality shots, making sure we secure the rebound on the defensive end. So that's our area of improvement.
Is that something that you work on in practice as far as like that clutch time and like what are the drills and what are the things that you do to try and do it?
Yeah, for sure. We show it. We have communication about it, and then we get on the floor and work on it. And honestly, I don't know if there's any other way but to go on the floor, put 4 or 5 minutes up, put us in scenarios that we're in, and we just continue to try to work on it.
Coach, what's the importance of this 4-game homestand for the team?
The biggest thing is coming off of being gone 10 days, 5 games. That first game is normally a trap game. I told our guys that. So we had a really good practice, and we want carryover going into the first game, and just take it game by game. Charlotte is first. We want to focus on them, focus on what we need to do to come out as a winner.
What's the biggest thing when facing Charlotte that you have to look out for?
Well, they're getting LaMelo Ball back, so obviously he's a key fixture on their team, setting the table for guys with his ability to pass. He can score, getting guys out in transition. But I think the biggest key for us is stepping on the floor and having a standard in which we play and holding ourselves to that standard.
I think Brandon hasn't had a 20-plus point game since December. What do you kind of tell him in those moments? Is there something that other teams are doing to kind of limit him specifically? How do you kind of fix that?
We want him to continue to be aggressive. I think he's playing well, but like you said, the scoring hadn't been there. A few of the games he's been out in the fourth quarter. We had big leads, but it's been a few games where, like Dallas, he missed some easy shots that are makeable for him. So continue to be aggressive. We'll continue to watch it on film, continue to put good days together, and it'll come out in the wash. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Can you just, the road trip, being able to finish 3-2 on the last game and go the way you wanted it to finish that tough road trip 3-2, just what was that for the team?
This is something that this team expects to do. We expected to go 4-1, but obviously last night slipped away from us. We have no reason not to be in these games, winning these games, very competitive against anybody. So the fact that we went 3-2 is great. The fact that we're 7-3 in our last 10 is great. But again, we're not happy. We want 8-2. We want 9-1. We want 10-0. So we're going to keep striving for more and keep pushing for greatness.
Obviously seen this team the last 2 years. What's the area maybe that you've noticed the most growth of this team even from the start of this season?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing is our roster. Our roster. We have legitimate NBA players on our roster, like really, really good NBA players that aren't even playing. And there's not many teams in the NBA that can say that. So I think, that's hats off to, player development for getting these guys to a point, all of us to a point where, we can be rotational pieces, serviceable players in the NBA, and credit to the front office for putting together this roster, I think, and credit to the guys for their work. You know what I mean? I think, players aren't made overnight, and there's a lot of work put into that. And so, it's a lot of credit due around here, but I think the biggest thing is just how balanced and how talented the roster is.
Larry, what's the importance for the team in these next 4 games at home?
Defend home court. I think our record at home is like 12-8, and that's not where it should be. We've got a great home court advantage, and we're proud of that. So, I think it's important. Obviously we got Charlotte tomorrow. I think it's Charlotte, Phoenix, Utah, OKC, and those are teams that are very capable of beating us and very capable of us beating them. So it's going to be some good basketball at the Smoothie King. So I think the key for us is just defend home court and make sure people know that when they come here, it's going to be a fight.
Coach kind of talked about you guys practicing these clutch game scenarios. How much has that kind of helped, and how can you guys kind of fix those late down the stretch games?
I think it's been great. Obviously, the more reps you get in certain clutch situations, the better it's going to be for us. We have guys that haven't been in playoff games, that haven't been in major games, and so as much as you can emulate situations in practice that you're going to see in games is key for us. And then Willie's done a great job of putting us in position to kind of practice those. It's been great.
What do you feel like has been the biggest thing missing?
We got to make our free throws. Right now, we're sitting 22nd in the NBA in free throw percentage, and that's uncharacteristic of us. We have guys that are really good free throw shooters that are just smoking some right now. So first thing first is free throws. Second, turnovers. We got to take care of the ball, value possessions, and I think those two things are mainly it. I think it's more our offense than our defense in those situations. So take care of the ball, make our free throws, and we'll be just fine.
When it comes to the Hornets, obviously they just got LaMelo back. I mean, just how much is he a force as somebody that you have to kind of key in?
I mean, LaMelo's a guy that just he plays with so much joy in the basketball court that he just makes their whole team tick and run and just really enjoy playing. So obviously he's super talented. Man's been an all-star, and going to present a definite challenge for us. But it's not just him. Terry's been terrific this year. Obviously, you got some really talented pieces. So this is one that you absolutely can't take lightly, and we'll be ready for it. Good to go? Thanks, guys. Take care.
How do you just kind of put into perspective this road trip? Obviously going 3-2, some good games in front, but losing this last one.
Definitely was proud of the first few games that we played in that road trip. Definitely some tough games, and we showed ourselves. And then, ending the road trip, didn't finish the way we wanted to, but overall, good road trip, 3-2. You can't get mad at that. Playing in a tough Western Conference.
When you talk about, we're at the midway point of the season, and for both guys, but for you first, Trey, what's the thing that you feel like this team has grown in the most, even from game 1 to game 41?
Sense of urgency, I think, has been a big part of what's grown in our team. Beginning of the year, there were a lot of games where we just didn't come out with enough fight, and we picked it up, and I feel like that's what our team is really starting to get back to right now. And it helps when we got guys coming off the bench that are able to really put the ball in the basket. I was talking about you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I think like you said, we have a really deep team. We just have 12, 13 guys that can play anywhere. So I think our depth is one of our strength of our teams, and we got to continue using it and continue performing when we come off the bench. Starters gives a good lift, but the bench is just really what makes a difference. So.
Going off of that, like you said, halfway through, what are some things that you need to see improve maybe to make a push and not, see yourself in the play-in again, but around in the playoffs?
I think just those little things, like the other game. I think it just came down to rebounding, offensive rebound, or defensive rebounding for us. Just rebounding, execution, late game scenarios.
Yeah, talked about those clutch games, late game scenarios. Coach Green talked about y'all practicing them. How much does that help when you go through these scenarios in practice that maybe could pay off in game scenarios?
No, it definitely helps a lot. We're a young team, so we're a little foreign to experience in some of these cases. So we're going through it in practice. Obviously not the same amount of pressure or intensity, but we've seen it before, and definitely helps when we get in those end-game scenarios.
Charlotte coming into town next. LaMelo, they just got him back. What's the biggest thing that you have to kind of keep for when guarding him and defending him?
Just understand he's a dynamic player, and we got a lot of bodies that we can send at him. This team is really good defensively, and we have a lot of different ways to guard people. So I know that we're just going to throw a lot of different looks at him, not give him the same look, every time.
Trey, you said you and Jordan are a top shooting duo. After his 34-point game, are you moving up the rankings?
I moved it up after the Golden State game, in my opinion. I really think that me and Jordan can shoot anybody in the league, and I'm not putting a limit or a cap on who I'm talking about.